guys ready? You ready? All right. Ready, Faith? Okay. It's 6:30. I'll call the meeting to order. The regular meeting of the Mount Holly Planning Commission for Tuesday, February 17th. First item on the agenda is any changes to the agenda. I don't have anything. Anybody else? Stephen? Oh. Andy, any changes?
No, thank you.
Okay. Hearing none, agenda is approved. We'll move quickly to approval of the minutes. We have the hearing minutes and the regular meeting minutes. I have a couple of corrections for the meeting minutes, typos. Number 1, the spelling of chair. 6A, spelling of chair. Did you see that one at the bottom of the page? Yeah, okay. And I would like to strike, Chair noted that the select board asked for this to be updated as soon as possible. That's not exactly true, so I think we'll just take that line out. And that's all I had, I think. I didn't notice any Britishism, so. Anybody else?
These are done in Word.
What's that?
These are done in Word,
Okay.
so it tells me.
Anything else? No. Well, I'll make a motion that we approve with those 3 changes. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Andy. Any discussion? All in favor? Well, I guess we should do a roll call. But
I'm in favor.
any opposed?
If it's unanimous, you
That's
should.
right. Any opposed? Okay, unanimous. Thank you. Faith, anything to report?
The public hearing minutes were also approved unanimously.
Oh, I didn't move that. Those looked fine. Any thoughts on those? Okay. I'll move we approve those as well. The hearing minutes from, what was it? The same date?
Hearing. No, it was the Kelly hearing.
It was the Kelly hearing. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Jim will second that one. Any discussion? Anyone opposed to approving the minutes as moved? None, so they're approved, thank you. Anything to report?
Not very much. I did receive one BCR from Michael Longobardo on Sawyer Hill Road. There is the BCR is for renovation with a small addition to an existing garage to be used as a workshop. Something he described as a pump house.
Sorry, where was it? You said?
143 Sawyer Hill Road. It's on the left-hand side as you go up. It seems to be being used for some large workshop kind of functions.
I think it's some kind of commercial growing facility. I'm not sure what they grow in there, but I think I'm not sure I want to speculate either.
Is that the one that they wanted to pull in phase 3 power for?
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have
For
enough.
lights? Yeah.
They got about 8 HVAC systems,
Okay.
4 per side, 5 per side.
And the only other thing to note is that the Mylars for the Kelly subdivision are ready for signature. I have
Did we ever close the loop on, were we waiting for a signed decision from someone? Or am I misremembering? Did we get the,
They've been sent.
all signed decisions have been recorded?
I don't know. I'll have to follow
Yeah,
that
let's
up.
just check on that, because
Yeah.
I kind of vaguely remembering Carol telling me she hadn't gotten something, or if you can check on that.
Yes, because I realised when I sent it to both Gregory and Lisa as an electronic message, and I sent hard copies to both of them as well. But Gregory is the one
Was it did we get the Seagordner one recorded?
I will
Okay.
have to check.
Maybe I'm misremembering something, but if you could just check the last few.
Yeah.
because we don't like independently check that, so if you can, that would be great. All right, anything else?
No, that was it.
Okay. I think the only thing I have is I'll be attending, and you're all welcome to as well. It'll be amazing. It'll be so fun. CHIP seminar on Thursday, I think it is, the 19th. So we'll see what they have to say about funding for housing stuff. So I'll report back to you on that. I don't think we have any other emails to report.
Yeah, that's being held, I believe, by the Vermont Cities and League of Cities and Towns, I think.
VLCT, yeah.
Yeah, online.
Yep. And if anybody wants to skip town meeting, they can go to that listening session thing for the conservation plan. But I think most of us will be at town meeting, perhaps. But that's it. So we can get right into the subdivisions. We have an update on the Gilbert proposal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you take it? What do you got?
I've prepared a final plat. There's just a few changes. Per Andy's comment last meeting, he was concerned about the wetlands. And so on sheet 2, I added a note saying that if there is to be a underground utility installed, that they would be directionally bored so as not to disturb the wetland.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it.
And you have wastewater permit. I think that was the one thing we were waiting for.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Wastewater permit has been
And
issued
it has
and
been
recorded.
Okay. And remind me, Faith, that if you have it there, but I think that was the only thing we were waiting for. We went through the checklist and found everything else to be satisfactory to move forward with the hearing, I believe.
Yes.
We just wanted the
That was
wastewater permit. So unless I'm mistaken, I think we're ready to schedule that hearing. Does that sound right to everybody? Okay. What are you thinking? A month from now? Before next meeting would work for you, or something that?
Yeah.
Okay. What are we looking at?
I'm just looking at the calendar for the journal, but I think that's fine.
So this isn't handled at a regular planning commission meeting?
No, we have to have a due process hearing, public hearing.
But we usually do them immediately before
It'd-
the regular meeting.
Yeah, immediately before is how we usually do it.
Like, part of the thing is they gotta mail it to, letter to everybody around, so they have
Right.
an option to come speak if they wish. And
Right.
We transformed
I
from
thought
a,
that was going to be done before this one.
No, because we have to set the date of the hearing first. And once the hearing date is set, I can issue
Gotcha.
all the notices.
yes, Vermont law requires a whole set of notices to adjoining landowners in the municipality
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so on. Yeah.
If it gets to the Vermont Journal this week, it will appear on the 25th.
Yeah. Because we're looking at what, the 17th again?
Yeah, that will be plenty of time to meet our 15-day deadline. Yeah.
Does that work for you? So
Sure.
let's say this is fairly. There's not a lot of evidence on this one, right? So should we say 5:45? Giving us enough time.
And this
to-
would be just directly before
Mhm.
the meeting.
We could do 5:30 if we want to break in between or whatever. But you guys have
I don't
any
care.
opinions?
That'd be
if
fine.
it's, put
As
it
far
this
as I
way,
know.
it'll be March 17th is what you're talking.
Yep.
St. Patty's Day. It should be fun.
We're agreeing.
Supply the beer, we're good to go.
People either won't be here or they'll be ready to talk.
We don't usually have a lot of people. Andy, does that work for you?
Yes, that'd be fine.
You say 5:30 just to be safe then?
Yep, that's
Okay.
fine.
All right. Everybody in agreement?
Yep.
Okay. There we go. And do we know if that works for Okemo Valley? Will, are you authorized to approve that? Whether that'll work for you?
I think that works for us.
All right, great.
Okay.
And then that'll be our first use of our new form.
It will. If you could send me the revised version, that would be helpful.
Okay, yeah, I have it on the drive. I'll send it out. I think that's it for today. And sorry, I had to make the drive down. We could also
That's
do
okay.
things remotely. You could
Yeah.
testify remotely as well, if need. You know, if that's
Yeah,
helpful to
today
you.
probably would have been pretty appropriate for remote, but I'm wondering if next time would still be would be better if I'm here. I think. I don't know.
It's up to you. You know, we have the Zoom, so.
Yeah. Will most people that will be for the hearing? Do you think most people will still be on Zoom versus coming in person?
It totally varies on how many people will come. I mean, we advertise to the community at large, and we send letters to the adjoining landowners. Sometimes we
It's
get
all
all
over.
of them show up. Sometimes we get none of them show up. Sometimes people have things to say about it. Sometimes they don't. But we have to afford them the opportunity.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm just trying to gauge whether I come in person or
Yeah,
not.
no, it's a drive and everything. Sorry that tonight wasn't.
No,
a
that's
big
okay.
payoff for you.
I still,
You can still bill it, right?
I have a friend that's nearby, and
All right.
okay.
Yeah, either way will work for us, as far as I'm concerned. Does anybody care whether he appears remotely or not?
I don't see a problem with it.
No, we've had that happen
Yeah.
plenty of times before. And now we have the plats. And we'll just, note that we don't have
Do you want any more of
Mylars.
these hard copies?
Um,
You can have them.
yeah, if
Do we have a PDF version already
we do have a PDF version.
of the final one? Okay. And we'll just, Andy?
I was just gonna say, if we could be sure to have the documents circulated electronically to Jan so that we're not straining to see something that's laid out on the table there. Those of us who are participating remotely.
Right. In next time, if we get the plat ahead of time, we'll try to distribute it.
As I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's been.
Oh, okay.
I did share it with everybody.
Faith says she did.
I didn't put everything in this meeting's notice because there just would have been too many. There would have been the files would have just been too big.
Right, okay. And we'll just note that we don't yet have Mylars. That's usually fine for us if you're willing to do them on approval.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna wait till the very end and just ship them to the
Yeah.
client.
Yep. Some people like to front load it so that they can be signed, on approval if there is an approval more quickly. But if you're fine with that, you can save the cost and do it later. Either way works for us, is what I'm
Okay.
saying. Yep. We'll go
Okay,
for
so I could bring Mylars in theory. If approved at that meeting, they could be
It won't be
signed.
approved at the meeting, so we will take testimony at the hearing. The way it works is, everything has to be on the record during the hearing, and we'll close the hearing and go into a deliberative session. It usually takes us about a month to get the decision out, because we have to write
Yeah,
it all
sure.
out. Meet several times to discuss it, the
Yeah.
particulars and everything. We have been shooting for 30 days. The last one, I think we were closer to the 45-day limit. We do have a statute and post limit of 45 days to come up
Right.
with an answer. So we work hard at it. It's a lot of work for us, and we do need the time, unfortunately. Yeah.
Thanks.
Extra copies.
Okay. Thanks,
Thank
Doc.
you. Yeah.
All right. We'll move on to McDonald, Hoyler, Carney sketch plan review. Mr. McDonald and Miss Hoyler, you're both here. Is there one of you who would like to represent the group and present it to us, or how would you like to handle it?
I nominate Mr. Spokesperson.
Okay, welcome. I'll give you the floor, and you can tell us a little bit about what you're trying to do.
Before we do that, John,
Yeah. Oh yeah, Andy, go
I
ahead.
just, I don't have any personal financial stake in the outcome of this, but I've known all three of the property owners for a very long time. And I helped them acquire this property And a number of years ago, I gave them some advice on that. I think it's best if I recuse myself from participating in the discussion or deliberations or the decision. So, as I read the conflict of interest provisions, I can continue to participate in this as a member of the public, but I won't be participating in this matter as a commissioner.
All right, thank you, Andy. All right, Mr. McDonald, please, if you can give us a little synopsis of what you're trying to accomplish and present it to us.
Yeah, sure. So this parcel of land is 1.5 acres located near Lake Nineveh. It went for sale about 4 years ago. And the why behind why we are in the situation we're in right now is that the 3 neighbors surrounding this 1.5 acre of land decided to approach the seller and buy the land with the express purpose of conserving the land. And so 4 years ago, we bought the land, this 1.5 acres, yet now there's 3 owners on this land, and the estates of the 3 owners now want to have the land broken up in such a way as to redefine our boundaries. That's one way to do it, because the land is south of my property, north of Mr. Carney's property, and west of Marina's property. And so what we would like to do is continue to have this as conserved land. We do not want it ever to be developed, so we're not seeking any wastewater plans or anything like that. We're simply trying to have a solution to having the land be carved up where the 3 owners would have each have a half an acre by redefining their boundary lines.
Yeah, great. I had a couple of quick questions based on what you sent. We have 2, I guess they're basically portions of a larger survey, right, that have been sort of colored for identification purposes. One question I had is, what is depicted on the underlying survey as Lot 5A was at some point after the survey was drawn, split into 2 pieces. Is that correct? Are you familiar with the piece I'm talking about here? It's now, I guess, half owned by Carney and half owned by the group. You're gonna need this.
Yeah, that happened many years ago, 30 years ago. So the remaining plot
I need to sit over there.
that Mr. Carney did buy in his original acquisition plan
Go sit over there.
is this 1.5 acre that we're referring to now.
I'm sorry, I missed part of your answer, unfortunately. Just a quick clarification. Lot 5A that was on the original survey was divided in half at some point, right? And it was acquired by, at some point, well, it is now owned by Carney. And the sort of northern, I guess in the deed it's called the eastern portion, is owned by the group. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. So one question I had is that eastern, or what I would call more northerly part of Lot 5A, does it have a separate deed?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So that part seems sort of taken care of, seems to me, like that deed. Do you think there's any restriction on you conveying that deed?
The 1.5 acre is its own deed, and that's the deed that we're speaking about now. Not the one that Mr. Carney had purchased part of before. The 1.5 acre is the one that the three of us bought together about 40 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're just trying to carve up, a half an acre. Additional half an acre goes to Mr. Carney. The top part of that plot would go to me, and then Marina would pick up the middle section.
I'm going to say, to state the obvious, you numbered that as 6A on your map.
Well, yeah, it's confusing.
Perhaps I could.
All right.
So these numbers on the plans that you've submitted, 4A, 5A, 6A, 7A and 3A, can we just clarify those were original designations from sometime before you bought any of your parcels? Is that correct?
Yeah, I think that was from a plot plan that was developed like in 1962.
Right.
Right. So if we ask about 5A, it no longer has a separate, that section which is only 5A, it no longer has a separate deed.
That's correct. That is
Okay.
recorded by Mr. Carney many years ago.
Right.
Oh, okay. I thought they had a separate deed. I thought you said that had a separate deed. That's why I was getting
Talking at
confused.
different-
Yeah, I think one thing that's going to be tricky here is, you know, we start to get into sort of like taking testimony. What seems to me is that you are saying that you would like this to stay conserved, correct? Stephen, can you sit down?
Whoops, sorry.
You just sit. Sit.
Sit.
Yeah.
All right, sit.
You want this to stay conserved. You don't want any future development. Is it your position that, do you have an instrument to enforce those conditions? Is it something that would be enforced by the wilderness community? Is it your intention to put an easement on it? Or would you like the planning commission to put conditions on the approval, or if it should be approved?
Because of a approval last night from the wilderness community, who approved the fact that if we were to be successful at dividing this into three portions with each of the individual lot owners picking up a half an acre, because of the covenants in the wilderness community which stipulate only one dwelling per plot, then by nature of that covenant, I already have a cabin on my lot. Marina either has a cabin on her lot, and Jerry Carney has a cabin on his lot. So if we were to get approval, in effect, the conservation issue would be moot, because my current acreage is just 1 acre. I would pick up a half an acre, but because that would be consolidated on my lot, I'm not allowed to build another dwelling on my lot. And that is same true for Marina and Jerry. So by dissolving this 6A lot, in effect, we are conserving it forever.
Okay. So I think part of the challenge for us will be, you know, there's separate issues, in my opinion, we can discuss as a commission. Whether or not we use the boundary line adjustment as the instrument of moving, or, you know, of determining the new boundaries. It seems to me we probably do want to have all of this in the record through testimony at a hearing and afford public input. I think that would be probably the most effective and transparent process we could use, because this is a pretty significant boundary line adjustment, and it's basically by design extinguishing a lot. But that's what you're hoping to accomplish, right?
Right.
I personally don't see any major issues with it, but it seems to me that we should get all of this information on the record. And it's, certainly triggers what we have applied in the past as a sort of like significance measure on whether or not this is something that could be administratively approved by Faith or whomever. It does seem like it would not be creating new lots. I think it's a fair, in my opinion, at least looking at it the way it is, seems like a pretty straightforward proposal to have one lot remain. One lot today, one lot at the end with different boundaries. But it seems to me we should probably just go ahead and get an application, get a survey, notice a hearing, and then take the testimony. But as far as, doesn't seem to provide anything particularly unusual that would be problematic. If I think further than that, I don't think I would want to say much more until we are on the record. You're giving me a look. Do you have a different thought?
Well, I'm just wondering, I think part of the problem is we don't have a borderline procedure. So we're falling back on the subdivision procedure.
Well,
If I'm
subdivisions
interpreting-
do encompass boundary line adjustments, yeah. We have in the past in the town. We haven't in the last few years had a hearing on them, but they have many times in the past. But I think in terms of, particularly with respect to the effect on housing with, extinguishing a lot, it seems to me that the owners have a pretty clear foundation for why it would remain without development no matter what outcome. That's what I'm hearing Mr. McDonald say.
Yes.
But I think I would like to hear that on the record. I have a clear record of, for one, the Planning Commission not taking away a building lot in a housing crisis, to be fairly blunt.
The current status is the three of us have never built on this, so I would hope that it wouldn't be characterized as a reduction in available inventory of buildable lots, since it's been already established among the three owners that will not be built because of our handshake agreement. And what was the motivation to acquire the land to begin with?
Right. And that's what I was suggesting would be very appropriate for you to say at a hearing, and we can have that in our decision as your testimony. Something to that effect. What do you think?
Sounds about right.
Sounds reasonable? What do you think?
Yeah, at the end of the day, Andy could probably explain better all the covenants that are attached to each of these deeds, because he did them.
Well, he can't.
Well, he can comment as a citizen, as
Maybe.
a individual from, at the time he did it, I believe he was representing the Nineveh.
Right. And I think
So-
part of my thought process here is having a hearing, the parties have an opportunity to put whatever testimony they want on the record.
Okay.
And they could include that for sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Yeah. Basically, at the end of the day, each of them increase half acre. All their covenants stay the same.
And we have received an email, I guess, representing the wilderness community.
Yes.
But that would be another thing that we would want on the record too.
No.
And I'm sure they would.
Yeah, I think you sent that out.
I just forwarded it.
Yeah.
So do we have an application yet? Okay. So my suggestion is that we have the applicants, Mr. McDonald representing, fill out an application for a one lot subdivision and provide the information to Faith, and then we'll take it from there.
And it would be a minor subdivision, so if you look at the checklist, that's on the website, I believe, right? Checklist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Faith has all that.
Yeah.
I can provide guidance, but just to clarify, following our discussion last week, I think it was, Mr. McDonald, before this can come back to the Planning Commission, before I can present it back to them, it will require a survey.
Okay, and that's what we were hoping to get conditional approval before we incur the cost of the survey.
As I explained to you, unfortunately the process doesn't work like that. You will need to do the survey first.
Okay.
Yeah, we have to be, there's a due process here, unfortunately, for you, perhaps. We can't really signal approval before, for certainly any testimony.
Well,
I could, what I already said, and I can repeat, is that it doesn't seem particularly unusual and doesn't seem to present too many challenges, complications.
I would just say the survey is there also to protect you, because now you'll know where the actual half-acre borders are for each of you, rather than sort of guessing, which would be protecting you for down the road or your estates.
I mean, essentially, I appreciate what you're saying, and I understand what you're saying. This is all woods anyway, and it's not going to ever get developed. So I tried to ask the survey person, I got quotes from him, and they were fairly expensive. And I said, is there a less expensive approach? And he absolutely said, no, it has to be the modern technologies and all of the equipment that he's purchased would be part of his costs. So we know that we have to do a full-blown survey, and we're talking amongst ourselves right now on incurring that cost.
Yeah, I'm sympathetic with the costs. Any boundary line adjustment of any kind or any change to the boundaries would require a survey regardless of how you structured it. It is a fairly small parcel, about as small as they come in our town, which should be on the lower end of their cost range as a result, but yeah.
Okay, one other question.
One other thing I can add is, it seems to me that the way you've done it would hopefully reduce your costs by using existing boundary lines. So essentially resuming the boundary line for Lot 5A, or what once was depicted as Lot 5A, does seem to be a very, cost-effective move. Mm-hmm. So, I think you're doing the best you can with that.
Okay, can you help me understand what the difference between giving testimony as opposed to what we're doing here today, as far as capturing the minutes of what I'm sharing with you?
Absolutely. So in our town, our planning commission serves two different roles, very distinct roles. We have a planning process role where we write the town plan, work on bylaws and other planning documents, have meetings like the one today, where this meeting is sort of a little bit of two. And the other role is a very different one. It's a quasi-judicial role. It is like a court. And we make a decision that is effectively a decision of law. And that is, do we approve subdivisions and boundary line adjustments? And when we do approve them, once the process is complete, those properties are live. You know, they then exist. And to do that, we are bound by a number of different things, including Vermont state law that requires a certain procedure, certain diligence, establishing rules of procedure, etc. And the proceeding is effectively a hearing, like a court hearing. We preside over it. The applicants give testimony. The entire proceeding is on the record, and if there's disagreement with the decision, appeals can be taken just like similar to court cases. In our case, I won't go into the details about how appeals work, but it is effectively de novo appeal in our case, which means it's retried, but everything that goes into our decision is supposed to be on the record in the hearing. So what we discussed today is not on the record. This is we authorize in our bylaws as a sketch plan review. We can give some guidance, kind of give some hints, some suggestions. You can tell us a little bit about what you're trying to do. We'll try to work with you to get that done. But when we convene the hearing, you need to provide us with everything we'll need to make the decision.
Okay, thank you.
And
Stephen.
I'm just going to say, for it to be on the record, you're going to get sworn in. Where today you're not. Today you could say anything you want. Then you're going to be sworn in, and you have to, you're going to swear to say the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Basically, is what it is. And just the other thing, there is a fee, because we're going to have to mail, as part of the process, letters to your neighbors. So there is a fee associated with the minor subdivision, just so you're aware up front.
In the paper.
And a newspaper and,
Which is the most expensive.
yeah, stuff like that there.
Anything from you?
No,
No?
I think you guys have covered it all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. I don't know if your colleague, partner wanted to say anything, or Ms. Hoyler, I believe.
No, I agree with what Andy's saying, that's fine, he and I have been talking a lot about this, so, we were in agreement, so it's fine.
He meant to say Steve.
Mr. McDonald, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well then, we'll look forward to seeing your application, and we'll take it from there. All right, thank you.
Appreciate your consideration.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
Do we have anything for the Schaefer BLA?
Yes.
Oh, are you Mr. Schaefer? Hi, how are you?
Yeah, we do have something.
Sure, please.
Apologies, I didn't send this out, but we do have the application. Mr. Schaefer had shared the sketch
Yeah, do you have that again?
electronically.
I did, yeah, because these were so small I couldn't get
And
bigger
unfortunately,
versions.
we don't have the technology. I was trying to print a larger version.
No good.
And we don't have the technology to do that. So
Okay.
we are, I'm afraid, limited to
This was was it a driveway or going around a shed or something? Is that what it was? Would you mind telling us a little bit about it?
I recently put the garage in there on the lot 2, and I need to just change that boundary as a result. That was a wastewater
Oh,
plant
okay.
previous.
Okay, it's a separate. That's not what you're
Yeah.
talking about today. Okay.
Could I also just note that I first met Mr. Schaefer when he was building his garage, and his original plan had been to place it on the footprint of a
The old
barn that
barn
had
foundation.
Where the old foundation
Okay.
was from an old
which
barn.
had burnt down or something.
I'm not sure what
20 years
happened,
previously.
It was torn down.
Okay, but it was in the river corridor. So Mr. Schaefer and I discussed the issues regarding construction of the river corridors, and he then came up with an alternative location.
Yeah.
And this is showing the alternate location.
Yes.
Okay. And so the line adjustment is what exactly? It's very hard
If you
for
were
me
to
to
look
see.
at here, this straight line was the old one.
Yep.
And
Okay.
it basically is in front of the garage that's standing now.
Okay.
So we're just shifting it so that we have, I gather, the surveyor said that the setbacks would be sufficient from the septic and from that building. So that's why the line needed to be changed.
Just to move it the other side of the garage, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And it still leaves it at 5 acres on lot 1 and 5 and change on lot 2.
Do you own both of these lots?
Yes.
And what's on lot 2?
Nothing. Just the garage.
Okay. And you want to move the line for, you're going to sell the lot or?
I intend to keep it. I built the
Okay,
garage there,
okay,
so
yeah.
I intend to keep it, yeah. There is a location from previous surveys of where a home could go there, but we have no plans on doing that.
Just out of curiosity, why do you want to change the line?
Because I wanted it to be legal. I didn't want a line. I wanted this to be on lot 2. I wanted the garage to be on lot 2, not on lot 1.
Okay, you have your own reasons for that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And I can't read those distances. That's a very small change, it looks like to me.
It is. It's a very small change.
Basically one side of the building to the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
we're
maybe
talking
20 feet.
20 feet?
Yeah.
Which is a little bit like what the Thrall one.
Yes.
Seems pretty small.
Very small.
Does anybody disagree that this is a fairly insignificant change? Andy?
Andy?
You've seen this already, I believe. This was sent around.
You're
I
on
think
mute.
You're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's I'm a little confused by the plan. I mean, I agree it seems insignificant, but perhaps you want to move the property line so the garage is on the same property as the house?
No, it's
The
not.
opposite of that.
I think that's the way it appears now.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, part of
Right,
it's-
so that's what I guess what I don't understand is, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter, you're free to do what you want in that respect, but why would you put your garage on a separate lot?
If I ever choose to sell lot 1, I can keep the garage and own lot 2.
Okay, I understand.
It's like full of snowmobiles,
Thank you for
basically.
clearing that up.
Right.
Probably not what I was gonna ask anyway.
I won't tell if you don't.
Yeah. Same as mine. I got motorcycles.
I can get it. All right. Well, I would propose that this is an insignificant change, similar
Yeah.
to the Thrall boundary line adjustment that was administratively approved. Anybody
Yep.
disagree with that?
No, I don't see a problem. It's like not even the width of the garage.
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah. Oh, the Thrall one was even smaller than that, probably, but. Okay, do we have any disagreement with that? All right, well, I'll propose that we signal to Faith that she, at her discretion, may administratively approve this boundary line adjustment.
All power to Faith.
How does that sound?
Sounds great, thank you.
Because basically,
Do
only
we need a
changes down
resolution
here.
of that effect?
I've made it a unanimous consent resolution.
Okay.
Just in terms of the survey, do we need a new Mylar?
Oh, he intends to, he wanted me to make sure that was okay.
Right.
Before I did it, yeah,
Okay.
You will need to record a Mylar,
Yeah.
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You need to sign it.
What I don't know, you don't probably, well, you and your attorney could work out whatever deed you need to do with that, but it's a little bit strange to deed yourself, but deed something to yourself. You'll figure that out.
Yeah, that would be something to discuss with the attorney.
Yeah. Try to avoid any tax.
Well, when we closed, they are separate, I think they're separate deeds.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
separate taxable deeds.
Right.
So I don't know if anything further would need to be done on that, or?
That's up to you and your attorney.
Okay,
But I think you would in fact need, as the Gilberts are doing, you need to deed yourself. You take each of the deeds,
Well, let's
And
let him
then-
just figure
Yeah.
that out
And
with
then
his attorney. I don't
do
want to give
some-
legal advice.
okay.
re-deeding.
Sometimes, yeah, there's ways that they'll tell you exactly what to do with that, I'm sure. But
Great.
we need a recorded survey for town purposes, and ordinarily your attorney will reference that recorded survey. So,
Great.
yep.
All right.
So I'll issue a permit, which will also give you the instructions as to what needs to be required to fully formalise it.
Okay.
Yeah. Just double check with him. It should not be, but, you know, when property is transferred, the state likes to get a transfer tax.
I see.
So try to
Avoid.
talk to him to schedule it, or, you know, frame it in a way that you're not subject to it.
Okay.
I would think.
Well, I think if there's no payment for the transfer, then there's no tax.
Okay, yeah,
Your attorney will have all of this
your
information.
turn, yeah, I was being anal
All right.
or paranoid, I'm
Okay,
not
that
sure
should
which.
be that. I'll wait for that. All right, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thanks a lot.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And
You want it? You can have it.
I don't want it, I'm asking if he wants it back, or if Faith wants it.
I don't need it.
I made some copies.
All right, we're going back down to rules of procedure again. So, which one do we want to start with? The one you had fewer comments on? The hearings one, I sent around an updated draft. Steven sent a couple of changes, requested changes and thoughts. I don't have your email in front of me.
I have to look for it.
One thing you said is you wanted the oaths on page 3 to reference the actual procedure,
Well, the actual oath, yeah.
which I added
Yeah.
as C hearing sequence, section 3C.
Yep.
Okay. You didn't like the language for recording because it was a little bit wonky because it has like except as permitted by law. So I suggested changing it to hearings shall be electronically recorded as required by 1 VSA 312, subject to the exceptions provided in that section and other applicable law. Does that cover everything?
Yeah.
You can read it in writing if it's not clear when I read
I gotta
it.
go look for what I was commenting on, I'm trying to remember, it was a week already.
You thought you didn't like that it said
Right.
except as permitted, because it was like, I think you
It
thought
was-
exceptions, permission were
It
opposites.
was, yeah, it was like talking in circles in a way, yeah. Or,
Again,
yeah, it wasn't-
So just
it
see what I
wasn't clear,
suggested
yeah.
and see if that works for you. We reference the law and just sort of like except as noted it within.
right,
Is that fine?
yeah.
All right. And let's see, the other part of that I think Faith may be able to help you with is you had a my belief is a misunderstanding about what the difference is between clerk of the select board, clerk of the planning commission, and administrative officer. And it turns out that Faith holds all three roles.
Right, well, coincidentally, she holds all three.
Coincidentally, she holds
And
them
I
all.
think, is that the one that, or was it the procedures?
But there is, I just want to be clear that there is only one administrative officer, and it is a town role, not a planning commission role. Is it what your comment was?
Oh, because
Administrative-
back in the day when, what's her face?
Well, that's not nice.
I can't remember, you're lucky to remember my own name.
Renee?
Renee, thank you, got the position. It was the Planning Commission's administrative officer.
No, it was the town administrative officer.
I'm appointed as administrative officer by the town on the recommendation of the planning commission.
Okay,
And my role as administrative officer is to facilitate the land use rules, regulations, bylaws and other...
so then
Other
your
things
position
in
on the
relation
select
to-
board is not the same thing.
No.
Okay, that's where I was getting confused. Because he was also saying clerk and town administrative officer in the write-up.
Yeah, because in relation to the planning commission, I hold... There are two
Yeah.
positions. One is the clerk and the other is the administrative officer. And it just so happens that I am the same... I am holding those two positions.
Okay,
But they are-
I understand.
But they are two
The-
separate
Right,
the
at,
roles.
at the time I read it, I interpreted the town administrative officer to be what you were when you were with the select board.
No.
And that's where I was getting confused, and
Yeah, it's
there was
confusing.
also a later definition of to what the clerk, or in your case clerk, was.
Right, and
It was
I
further
moved-
down in the thing.
Yeah, so that was in the
Yeah.
other rules, and I did suggest moving that up based on your suggestion. But we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, it is confusing, at least superficially, that there's a town clerk, which is a totally different thing.
Right,
And then each body has a clerk that is essentially an administrative assistant.
right.
That helps get the work done. And those are not statutory roles. The clerk of the board is
Right.
not defined by statute at all. It's, permitted to have a helper. But the administrative officer is a
Right.
statutory role, and it's also one that's required by now multiple town bylaws.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, so
it's
we're,
in this section that I got more confused than on the hearings one.
yeah. I don't, do you have Stephen's email up there, on the hearing? Because I want to make sure I do go through it, but,
I tried
oh,
to.
that's the second one. Okay, this must be the first one, okay. All right, so the other comment was on conflict of interest policy. I forwarded, or Faith forwarded
Right.
to us, or I forwarded from Faith, the town's policy, which is also slightly confusing because it says a date range,
Right,
but it is effective. Like, it doesn't have an expiration date.
right.
I think they erred in putting a range at the top of it. It's something that the select board just approved
I know.
going forward, so.
The only, that's all I was really suggesting is it be attached as a copy or a reference where to find it. The other thing
Well, we
was,
could put a reference in where to find it.
Yes.
But what I thought about doing here on the third paragraph is put the actual title of the document,
yeah,
but then I just took it out because it's a really wonky title. It's like this,
I know.
and I think we know that it's the town's conflict of interest policy. It is what it is.
Right. The only other thing is, and they don't do it.
More
is-
importantly, the select board knows what it
is
is.
best practices for the select board and all people. They should annually complete one. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm responsible, I'm on another board and I'm responsible for their conflict of interest. Annually, every person on the board and every senior member of the organization has to complete a conflict of interest annually.
It probably is a good practice.
Yeah,
That
well, I'm just saying that's
maybe
best
Faith can
practices.
suggest to the select board that at the annual reorganization meeting after town meeting that it be just readopt.
Or them just fill in a form that says, at least that way if anything's changed, they're aware.
Because they do readopt like the purchasing policy and stuff like that, I think. But the reason for it, I think, would be, I'm agreeing with you in principle, I think, is that the select board changes. And it probably is worth having all the new members.
Well, I mean,
It may not change this year, but it is.
Well, I'm just saying,
Theory.
like even here, I may suddenly take a job or position that may conflict. Well, like with Andy had, if he were to fill out a form for a conflict of interest, he would say he's involved with the Nineveh Association as, I don't think you're an officer, but whatever. So that if it becomes basically everybody's aware, rather than leave it up for me to decide. I don't mean to use you, sir, as an example.
Well, okay. So what I think,
you know what I'm trying?
Yes, I think I do.
Because,
what
like
you're
when I
saying-
fill it in, the one at the other organization, I have to list all other organizations I belong to. Because there may or may not be a conflict at some point down the road.
All right, well, so I think what you're
But
saying.
that's got nothing to do with us here. I'm just talking with the town particularly. All they did is
Let
they
me just see if I know. Maybe
Just to
restate this.
clarify,
Yeah.
the reorganisation meeting from last year did not include re-adoption of policies
For the select board.
for the select board,
Yeah.
Yeah.
whether purchasing or conflict of interest or anything.
Okay. I think it may have in some previous years, but it may have been a while.
I could try
Sorry.
I
to.
seem to recall that's like something that like Jennifer Matthews was like on top of, like she always was like on top of that, but
I can
maybe a few
look
years ago.
for clarification from VLCT.
And it's outside our purview.
Right.
But what I'm hearing you say is that this isn't really for the hearing so much as let's add a reference to and I should double check that it's actually in the other document as well, that by approving the rules of procedure, we agree to
Right.
follow. Okay. So let's put a note for that because we'll get to that in a second. Agree
I'm trying to remember where it was in the hearing, but there was some
All right.
conflict.
So let's stick with the hearings one for
Yep.
a moment.
Oh, here it is.
Wait, this isn't this doesn't really mention your comments on the. No, this is just for the other one. Do you have your comment? You don't have your computer. Do you have Stephen's comments for the hearing procedure?
Oh. I think I don't think I had a problem with the statement. That I just said, I think I said just attach a copy of page 207. I think this is the hearing one, right? Yes.
Yeah. Well, what I think what I'm suggesting is that we basically take that language and put it into this one as well, because I don't know if it is. Well, but let's bookmark that for when we come back to that one. Do you have that?
I am only seeing
I might be able to
the,
pull it
the
up.
the two messages that I printed out.
I can try and find it.
Yeah, I can pull it up, I think, here. So that was the one. The other one was like 2 days before, I think. It was in the
It
same.
was a little earlier than that, I think.
Yeah, I have it here. Okay. Regarding the rules for
Sorry, I'm a
hearings.
little lost. We're talking about Stephen's comments on the hearing rules? or
Yes.
We're talking about Stephen's comments on, okay, hearing rules. Okay, very good.
And so I have them here. So the first comment was regarding a clarification on the administrative officer versus clerk. I think we've covered that.
Yeah, there were.
Your second was to attach a copy of the
COI
conflict of
policy.
interest.
Yeah.
I don't think we should do that. I think if anything, we can reference it and link to it. It may be updated. occasionally by the select board. I don't think I want to include a separate copy.
Yeah,
But I do
three-
agree that we should,
Go ahead.
say that it's members have read it, commissioners have read it and understood it. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, there was
Which I
only,
think we do have.
yeah, there were only 4 comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I started with that one.
Right.
And I think I addressed 3 and 4.
Yes, you did.
Okay. So how are we on that?
I'm good to go.
Okay. All right, good. Let's set that one aside. Is there anybody else?
No.
Yep, you're all good. Okay.
I have public comments whenever you're ready for those.
Okay. All right, let's go to the other document. So you had this list here. Paragraph 4A defines or uses clerk but doesn't define it. I think that's a good comment. So I
define-
suggested moving the definition
Right, you had it lower down in
to
another.
just move it up ahead of it.
Yeah,
And I also, I don't know if you mentioned it or I just noted it, we'd kind of been using, all of the VLCT model uses the word municipal. I think we often just say town. So I changed all municipal to town. Makes it a lot more simple, I think. Let's see, second comment was another sort of like clerk versus administrative officer question I think we've covered. Okay, 4H, well it was 4, so 5H.
I'm trying to find it now.
So these are outlining tasks the chair will undertake. That's a general idea. Things that we do that our old rules authorize that we do all the time, like presenting to the select board and preparing the report and all that stuff. And what are your thoughts on that, Stephen?
And which one was
In
talking
summary.
about?
The
For what?
things that the chair does, the responsibilities of the chair.
Well, I was saying, I think we're
Otherwise,
talking,
paragraph 6 is useless. Okay, what's 6?
well,
Well, let me say about.
in other words, 4H, I believe, is you've got specific functions where you talk about committees and stuff like that, or you can go for it and talk to people as long as it's just you and maybe one other person because it's not a public meeting. And my thought was that you should get permission first. Because in 6, it says you can't do anything
Well, it
without
does say
permission
that,
except as listed in the procedures,
Right.
which,
Yeah, no, it's just consistent.
Yeah.
But it says, shall not make any decisions or commit the body to a position or course of action without authorization.
right. But I'm thinking to avoid any problems, it might be best, unless there's
Well, this means like we can't
circumstances.
do. Basically, what this means is like you can't do email. So what this is trying to do is like be clear that we're like sending and receiving emails all the time,
Yes, that's,
and without expressly saying, to be clear,
right.
that in doing so, the chair shall not make decisions without authorization. That's what this says. It's essentially doing what you're asking. But
Right.
that's what it says, shall not commit the body to a position or course of action without authorization by vote. It's just being clear that in the course of emailing, doing the work of the commission, shall not take any action without approval.
Right, but I was looking at it where,
I mean, we get
I could
emails
see
from
normal-
state regulators all the time. Like
Right.
every single month, I'll describe what we get, what we receive from all of them. And
but
every chair from me on would do exactly the same. But it's
but
important.
normally when you're talking about getting communications, I'm talking
Well,
about
both.
I'm not sure how to phrase it, because we're running into I'm gonna call it a gray area, where you could be giving information
I mean,
without the board understanding what you've done.
I get information. I give information all the time. People
Right.
call me and ask me like,
Yes.
How do I do? What's the
This is
process
specific.
for X, Y, or Z?
Yeah, but this
And
is
I always have to
specifically-
say I can't take a decision for the planning commission, but I can tell you what our policies are, what our procedures are. Here's the state agency you have to talk to. Maybe it's better that you talk to Faith. That's kind of what I do lately.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just, where it says communicate. See,
Which one?
and we're back on H is the one we're talking about, 4H. If I remember correctly. Right?
Yeah,
And
in general, yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily say you're responding to a email request. It's as if you initiate communications to a government entity to include state agencies, regulators.
Yeah, for
regional
example,
planning.
VLCT. VLCT is a quasi-government entity. I don't know if it actually
Well,
is state.
it's one thing to
directed.
contact them to, let's say, ask for advice. But
Well, that's what this is about.
This is exactly what this is.
yes, but then
Request to provide procedural, technical, and factual information.
right. Okay, then let me. All right, I hate doing it. I'm going to put my foot in it. But that whole mess with the Act 250. In other words, if you were to talk to, even if they talk to you, because it's such a hot button issue with the store, before you and Andy communicated with the Act 250 person, the board should have approved it. I'm not saying we didn't. I'm just saying
The board did.
Yes, I'm not saying we didn't. I'm just saying in that kind of, in other words, define it a little bit better, where if you're going to talk to them, it would be either for advice or because they've asked you specifically. Otherwise, I would want to have you get permission to communicate with somebody.
For what purpose? For
So
a
that-
specific purpose or any purpose? Because
In
like
general, so that
saying like, okay,
We're
we
aware.
got to convene an emergency meeting so I can get authorization to like respond to this email is like not.
I'm not saying, if you get an email, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's that gray area where, in other words, this almost gives you carte blanche to any time talk to anybody over anything. And I'm trying to narrow it down.
Honestly, Stephen, I don't have a problem with that, really, because it says that the chair can't commit the body to a position or course of action. It has to report back to the body at the next regular meeting. And
Well,
my observation of what work that John has done over the past, 4 years that I've been on the commission, there's a lot of work to be done between meetings.
Okay.
Questions, legal questions come up. I'm hypothesizing, but it could be a question what a statute means, and John could call someone in a state agency and say, what's your interpretation of this? You
Right.
could require him to get permission from the commission to do that. He's not gonna be able to do his job.
Then let's
And
communicate.
we'll all suffer for it.
Could I ask a question? This whole section 4 is not in the VLCT document. We might ask, well, they did not suggest this whole concept that's in 4. Why are we bringing it in?
That I didn't know. I'm just looking at that 4H. My compromise would then be that something to the extent that any communications be reported to the planning commission as expeditiously as possible.
It doesn't say that. Some, I
It,
think it says that
This is
in,
the next regular meeting.
yeah, the next regular meeting, which is what we've been doing for 6 years.
okay. It's just the way I read it, it was that you could initiate rather than respond to.
Yeah.
But I could understand you going to the league to ask for advice.
Or the wastewater permit people to find out what the right way to do something is. I mean, over 6 years, I can't even tell you how many different people I've learned from at the state level, at the federal level. I mean, there's all kinds of things. And every single one of those times,
I'm just trying to limit it to, if you're gonna do it, it's for advice. Let's put it that way.
right?
I know it says not to make a decision or commit the board to it, but
Well, I think it says that.
I know it does. I just said it did.
Well, what is the suggestion precisely?
Can I add something? The way I read, we'll get into open meeting law on, I don't want to argue, but yes, 3 people is a quorum,
Yeah.
but the flip side of that coin is what 2 people can and cannot do. That's the other side of it. And that coin.
Usually it's one person, but yeah.
All right, I don't know, but it says explicitly they can only perform administrative tasks, and they list 3: scheduling, agenda, and distribution. So I think what Steve's bringing up is a little bit dicey, and that's why I asked the question, why is it even in here? VLCT didn't think it was necessary to put this in here. This whole section.
Well, I can understand where communications has to go on, where you need advice, or you're asking, I'm gonna call it, for help. I just am not sure how to phrase it appropriately, because the way I initially read it is that,
The fact is, it doesn't have to be in here. I can do it. And the reason I thought it was valuable to put it in here is that it makes it clear what I can't do.
It also makes clear how you should handle it when you do it.
Right. And to be clear that there's a transparency requirement when it does happen. VLCT's opinion in broad brush is that really you don't need most of what we're adding to this because it's within the discretion of the chair. So I think it's important to be a little bit more clear about what that role entails.
well, we could change what I was saying, which is communicate with the exception for advice, emergencies, or a direct request with a time constraint.
I'm not sure I'm following that, Steve, but just.
In other words, a lot-
As written,
Go ahead.
let me just finish. I believe as written, it says that the chair may
It
request
says here,
advice.
procedural
That's a shorthand word for a longer phrase.
right?
And
It's like what?
as written, it says that the chair shall report his activities to the body at the next regular meeting. And I think to John's point that this helps create transparency and ensures that the chair, whoever it may be, acts within proper boundary lines. It also says that the chair shall not commit the body to a position or course of action without authorization by vote. So the only thing that I don't see in this that you've mentioned is your reference to emergencies. And if you're going to say, if I correctly understand what you're saying that the chair should only be able to communicate in emergencies, then you've taken away the authority that the chair would ordinarily have, and you hamstring his ability to do the work that the chair needs to do between meetings.
I guess a question that would pop in there is what's considered an emergency? That's just part of that.
I mean, if in anticipation of a meeting, the chair has a question about what the wetlands, the division thinks its rules are, or what the wastewater division thinks what its rules are, or what they would require us to do, or any number of other pieces of information that might be helpful to us when we meet. It seems like the chair ought to be able to place a phone call to get the agency's opinion on it, and then report back to us.
I'm not denying that. That's why I added where I said the exception for advice, emergencies, or direct requests with a time constraint.
But the emergencies is taking away what you just agreed to, because then John can only place that call for an emergency.
No, I said advice, comma, emergency, or. So, you know, I'm not saying he can't ask for advice. It's advising somebody, let's say
advising someone of facts, requesting information, factual information is almost exactly what this says.
All right.
To request or provide procedural, technical, or factual information relevant to the body's work, and or such entities, provided that the chair not commit the body to any course of action, decision, etc. It's just another way of saying it, in my opinion.
All right, I'll back down.
I would also ask that it says, and shall not include more than one member of the other member of the body. No, there's only one other, which implies stay under the quorum. I believe that's why that is in there.
Yeah.
Right? Which implies that this could be bumping up against the actions that are going on here could be construed as doing the business of the planning commission.
No.
Well, in a way, he's asking for advice. It's sort of the business.
What is the business of?
No, it's just an explicit reminder of the quorum rules that the open meeting law would apply if it's a meeting and you need to stay within the guidelines of the law. Of course, it doesn't have to be repeated there. The chair should know that you can't have a public meeting without the notice requirements, but it's worth putting in here just so that it's clear to pretty much everyone else who doesn't understand the law as well.
But the open meeting law also restricts what 2 people can do. It's not just what need for 3 people or quorum.
I don't agree with that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, that's not what we're talking about right now.
Well, it is if we're giving authority to 1 or 2 people to do.
Okay, you're going to hold your questions till the end, right?
If you prefer.
Okay, thank you. So let's finish with this.
All right, I'll leave it the way it is. I'm still, because I don't have a good alternative to suggest.
Okay.
Just, I'm not really thrilled with it either.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, well, let's go through your other ones.
Well, I just said paragraph 5, it says a majority, and I just say parentheses, it should say.
So you saw the suggestion?
As 3 members. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
That's good to go.
And actually,
my favorite.
No, actually, I changed that again because it should be 3 or more.
All right.
Right. So 3 or more. Not just 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were right about the numbering.
Heavens!
Oh.
Son of a gun.
No, you gotta give you credit for something.
Yeah, I know. Every so often I get it right.
We're going through every one of your questions. Let's see, where did we leave off? Committees.
Yeah, I'm back to the same thing under the 4-H.
Paragraph 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was the comment there?
I'm basically
You don't
saying
think that
you
the
can't
chair should
establish a
appoint-
committee or working group without prior permission.
Why?
It's something that the people on the commit, if we should be aware that you're the
Do you
chair.
think it's a
I'm using you as the chair.
mandatory committee? Do you think it's a mandatory committee?
Or any committee.
Okay. So this
Plus,
is
at some point, where we run into a
what we've always
wacky
had.
thing
Well-
is, how many people could be on it, but that's a different story. I'm just saying it should be agreed to in a prior meeting if a committee is going to be, or a working group is going to be established. It should be in the minutes that we've agreed to it, basically.
Well, it would be. And I don't really care that much about it, but where this comes from is basically the past procedure for this town and pretty much every other town in Vermont. So I just Googled it. And I got like 3 different ones here that say exactly the same thing. It wasn't our own invention. I think it was actually in past models, so that's probably where it came from. Let me see where it is. But it is, it's routinely it would be easier with like a search function in here. But. Yeah, see. So these are all advisory, right? So there's one. So the idea of a committee is that it reports to the commission, not to the chair. Everything that is recommended by the committee would be put on the record at a regular meeting.
All I'm saying is the organization of a committee or working group should be brought up at a regular meeting, so it's in the minutes.
Sure.
That's all I'm basically saying.
Okay.
In other words, it's not,
But it's customary for the chair to just appoint people on the committee. But it would of course be in a meeting, because that's the only way it would
that's what I'm
occur.
saying, it should be organized, would be at a regular meeting, not in between. If for
These
no
are
other
meeting procedures, they only apply to meetings. Yeah, so should we be more clear that this occurs, the appointment should be made within a meeting?
Right,
Okay.
that'll work. Or the organization, no, not necessarily, because you could have public people, the committee could have.
So let's just add to the work product of any such group, we'll say the creation, the establishment and work product shall be reported to the body at a warned meeting.
The organization
Would it be
and
more
work
logical to
product.
put it in
Would be the first paragraph.
paragraph 2?
Paragraph, yeah,
Maybe, yeah.
Any such working groups or committee
right, number 3 you're
can be
talking about.
constituted at a regular meeting
Yeah, how's
and
that?
shall consist of blah blah blah.
You like that?
Yep,
Okay.
I always like what Faith says.
Oh,
She's got better English than me.
But not better American, apparently.
okay.
She's got the Queen's vision.
Yes.
Paragraph 2, agendas. Let's see here.
Paragraph 2, it talks
It
about,
says we must. Oh, so I think you might have been a little bit confused, and maybe the language can be improved. This is about commissioners could suggest agenda items at the beginning of every meeting, but the public can't. This is for everybody else. This is members of the public. Anything submitted to the planning commission must be submitted in advance. We can't possibly work at the last,
well,
This is also straight out of the model.
right, no, I also understand you do want to minimize the number of changes so that the public's aware what's in the agenda. So if they want to comment, they can come in. But
And we,
then if
generally
you're talking,
speaking,
then,
almost
see,
never.
I was looking at this where I was looking at it as committee members must have it in before a specific time, but yet it also
You want a
says to
copy
a
of
limited
something?
extent we can make make changes at the time of. So I was saying it should, but now you're saying
All right,
it's
wait,
not
draw my
as-
attention to where you said the committee member, you mean the planning commission members? So we're talking
Give me a
about
second to find it.
paragraph 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the body is us as a group, right? We may amend the final
It's
agenda.
it's the 1, 2.
Right.
Second line from the bottom. All requests for additional agenda items must be provided at least 72 hours in advance of regular and 48 hours in advance of a
From the
special.
public.
But
Well, it doesn't
think
say
it's
that
actually the
specifically,
sentence
that's what
before that.
So I'm
Because-
saying should be, because, I was looking at it as committee members. We could still make minor changes at the time, but we should try to get it in before. I was trying to get the must out of there and replace with should. But you're saying now, where I did not, I was looking at it from members of the planning commission. You're looking at it as if it's from the public. So we need to be very
So,
clear. Because,
So if I can intervene or interject.
yeah, please.
Hardy.
The first sentence is very clear that because it refers to the body, its discretion and then the agenda. The second sentence, I would assume also refers to the body, but maybe not. If I understood what John and Stephen are saying, the third sentence relates to requests by members of the public.
Yeah, again, we're all sort of speculating on what they meant at the LCT here, so.
Right.
But I do see that there's a tension between the paragraphs or the sentences that precede those who wish. Right, it's like, who are the those? I think that's what you're saying. Are they commissioners or are they the public?
I had assumed commissioners, but I had not thought of the public, but you're right.
And it is an interesting gray area in law, because it's true. You have to give notice of the agenda,
Right.
but you can change it.
Right.
So we almost never change it, and there's good reasons for that, and it's
Right.
transparency and everything.
Doesn't it also say if you change it, the item that you put in, you cannot act in some way? I can't remember how they do restrict you. It says it
That I don't know.
somewhere. You can change, you can add an agenda item, but it has a restriction. I think it's in here somewhere.
So what is your thought? What is your suggestion? You want to clarify those? Is that what you mean?
Or just say, if the public wishes to add an item to the meeting, they should. But in all truth, if I want to add an
If you wanted to send me
item-
something, I'd need it in advance too.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the thing. In all truth, I should tell you in advance.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah, it
it's in
should
the
be
public record.
notified in advance
Right.
for whomever
Right.
wants to
But we
add
can't-
or change on the agenda.
So then maybe it might be the previous.
I mean, they said that's all VLCT's writing there, but
Yeah. I know,
What makes them?
but I've already argued with them a few times too. Don't worry.
But I mean, there are some tensions in law. Like, I mean, yes,
Yeah.
you can't really run a town and if you can't possibly change the agenda because you make mistakes.
Right.
There's
Oh yeah.
so they do add that sort of catch-all that you can change it.
Right.
We try not to exercise that, but it's still in here.
Right.
So okay, so are you Are we moving on, or do you want to change there? Again, just sort of, I'm also going to throw out there, we are trying to keep, when it is VLCT's writing, it's better if we keep it, because they presumably thought about it, and they're all lawyers. And
Therein lies the problem.
well, but they may fix things next year, and then we'll have to go play catch up with how we, incorporate their changes and so on. So,
Which complicates it even more.
yeah. So I'm somewhat reluctant to like micro, manage their writing.
Yeah.
Are we good, or we're looking at this more?
Because when you try to outthink them, then you get in trouble.
I can live with the ambiguity here in the
idea-
LCT's draft.
Yeah, I would be my suggestion.
There's probably a reason for the ambiguity.
And sometimes sometimes they hedge because it's like not totally clear. They'll have to be like a.
I don't like the ambiguity, but I would want to try and make it more specific and risk doing something that actually thought about and think is unwise.
So the areas where they allow, or they suggest, filling in the blanks are the amounts of time ahead of the meetings. So, they give a range, I think this one's fairly reasonable.
Well, I think we should then, at least at a minimum, because the clock is basically writing the agenda.
The what?
The clock, the clerk. I'm trying to be British.
No,
It ain't
I
working.
write the agenda. I write the agenda.
Oh, I thought Faith was involved in writing it.
Sends it out and helps. We're gonna miss things. She
Right,
tells
yeah, I
me.
occasionally say
We have this from this
we have
person.
this that needs to go on the agenda, which is me.
Well, I'm just
informing
saying
the
to
chair.
contact the chair to requesting its inclusion in the agenda, the chair or the clerk.
Wait, where?
1, 2, 3, fourth line down, paragraph 2, contact the chair to request. I'm just thinking to contact the chair or the clerk to request.
No, because that would make it even longer. Because
There's another handoff.
I can't add it to the agenda. I would then have to forward it to John and say, please
All right.
add it. Or we've received
Yeah.
this request. Will you consider?
And
adding
the
it
clerk
to the
isn't
agenda?"
a statutory role. The chair is. So it's that's anyway.
All right.
We do try to offload some things from the
I
chair
will-
to the clerk as much as possible. But
I'm more than
trust
willing.
me, I'm willing to.
I've done that in the past, trust me.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. So
Okay, 4 and 5 then, we'll move on.
all right.
In other words,
So we're down to
it talks about meeting a physical location and meeting a hybrid location.
okay. So these are straight out of VLCT guidance. This is statutory stuff.
Yes, but I
All right,
think
so
they
4 and
probably
5.
wrote it before the rules changed.
No,
Where
this
you're
is-
supposed to have, after COVID, when we started having,
No, this is brand new guidance.
There are two distinct types of meeting. One is a completely remote meeting, i.e. the situation in paragraph 4, and the other is a hybrid.
well, no, 4 is a completely physical meeting.
No, without a physical.
Okay, right, sorry.
And so what it's suggesting is that, especially in the hybrid scenario, you couldn't say, well, we posted that we were having a meeting in the town office. You didn't turn up.
Right.
You need to state both of those situations, which are different types of meetings. You have to state clearly how people can access them.
Yes, and we're required to have electronic, I'll say Zoom. It doesn't matter whether we're doing hybrid, whether we're doing all on Zoom, we're still required
Okay,
to
let's go
have
one at a
Zoom.
time. Let's go one at a time. 4, because you had questions about 4 and 5. So 4.
I just say they both should be combined.
Okay, well, let's go one at a time. So 4 is when we only meet virtually.
Right.
Right, and there are what this doesn't get into is like when that's allowed, right? We're not like going into details about when we
Right.
can, because statute has all that stuff. VLCT has pages and pages of guidance about that. There's all kinds of like emergencies where we can't get to the town office, where we can still meet virtually, etc. This just addresses that. All it says is you need to put the login information on the notice, which we always do anyway.
Right.
Okay, so that's fine, right?
Right. Well, 4 and 5 is this. If you
Okay, but
change
let's-
hybrid or non-physical or all electronic, it's basically saying the same thing. If you are doing a hybrid meeting or you're doing a all electronic meeting, you have to have a electronic.
Okay, so you just don't like you're bugged by the duplication.
Yes.
All right. Well,
It seems to me that whether it's a physical meeting, whether it's a entirely remote meeting or hybrid meeting, the posting notice in 4 and in 5 is identical.
Right.
okay. The VLCT guidance puts them separately. I
Okay.
would like to keep it as close to the model as when possible. Can we keep it with the model? Even if our sensibilities.
I'll live with it. It just
Okay.
seems stupid.
It may be. It may actually be.
There's a lot of things that are done are stupid, but they still
Whenever,
have to be done.
whenever
All right. I hear you.
have I ever called an attorney
I would
stupid?
suggest that when we can, we'll stay as close to the model. That's my suggestion. All right. And if they fix their stupidity, I would write to them, Stephen. I would write to them. And you should tell them you are a bunch of dopes.
I already have once.
All right. So,
Trust me.
Where did that get you?
I got what I wanted.
okay.
All right.
All right.
Yes,
So
sir.
we're going on to 4-6.
Meetings.
Oh yeah, sorry, you had it for. It's meeting 6. Now this might be another one where it's duplicated. Now, I do appreciate your
Diligence.
You think this is big?
yearning for.
You should have seen me reading
Short.
10 Ks and 10 Qs.
Okay. Well, all right. So you said, let's see, should be combined with 13. Motions. Okay. So I think. Okay, there's 2 things you say here. One is it doesn't say why a roll call is required if a vote is not unanimous. So the reason is because if you have a communication dropout, you don't know how the person truly voted.
True.
So you may have noticed that when Andy's on video, I always will go around and say, Jim, Stephen, Andy.
Well, you always ask Andy because Andy, unless he may not be heard, or even if he
Right, I
uses the
expect
raised
a-
hand, it doesn't necessarily.
In cases where it's not a unanimous decision, for the past several years, I have gone
Well,
through.
my point is.
That's a roll call.
We do, well, okay, but my point is we do it almost every time when we have Andy on Zoom.
Yep.
Exactly.
So it doesn't matter whether it's unanimous or not.
Sometimes,
in other words-
sometimes I do it even when it's unanimous. That's
Well,
true.
that's what I'm saying.
But it is required when it's not, it turns out. So,
See, with Andy being on Zoom, it's better to check to make sure that
Yeah.
what you think is what you
Well,
heard.
that's what I agree with that.
I haven't just dozed off with my thumb in the air.
There you go.
Or,
Wow.
the dropouts are real, like they happen. And if it's, Andy wanted to vote on something and it dropped out and his silence is compliance, is acquiescence, then it's not his intent.
Right. No, I'm not disagreeing with you
Okay.
asking him.
Right, so
I'm
I'm-
just saying
well-
why do it with unanimous. I say it should be done all the time if it's electronic. And you basically.
Which one is this? This is
if you
13?
look at 13, under motions and voting, yeah, you want me to go get a bottle of beer for you?
Gonna take more than that.
It's going to take the won't see me at the optician or the ophthalmologist for like 6 months. They're like, we're 6 months out. I'm like, I don't think I can make it. Anyways, 13. All right, so this is paragraph 6. Under meetings, is that the one? All right, so let's see what this one said.
The last sentence says
Whenever.
16 meetings and 13 in motions and voting is identical. So it's just another case of redundancy. But I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, my basic thing is
Redundancy.
whenever we're doing anybody's on electronic, it should be a roll call.
But it's redundancy is often in the case where people will just look at one section of these rules,
Right.
and so you need
Right.
to.
You want them to pick up that requirement regardless of which section they happen to be reading at the moment.
Yeah,
I agree with Faith on that.
Well,
but Stephen wants to change it to.
Okay, so this language is right out of the model. It says whenever one or more members attend a meeting electronically, voting.
just take out that even on 13, we'll just say a roll call vote is required, period. Thank you for sharing, moving right along. Anytime,
Well, no,
whether it's unanimous or not.
We do unanimous consent all the time.
I know. No, I'm just saying, if
No, unanimous
you
consent
just
is a
said
different
you
thing.
ask when Andy's on Zoom,
When it's not
you
unanimous
ask everybody.
consent.
I'm just saying that's what we should do all the time. No matter how we vote, whether it's unanimous or not.
Well, unanimous consent's a different beast. Then it's not a vote per se. Right. So there's different kinds of voting.
Okay.
Right. So we can do the yeas and nays thing.
I know.
And then there's roll call, which is Jim, yes or no, John, yes or no. It's different. Unanimous consent's a separate thing. It's like when there's no one says let's have a vote, because all you have to do to block unanimous consent is say no, let's vote. Right. So anybody who says let's vote, then we don't have unanimous consent.
But Steve's point is, you would ask the question, is there any objection? No one objects, and that gives unanimous consent. If there's a dropout though, you don't know if he heard you. So that's the distinction when someone is on video.
It may be. This is the model language, and I'd prefer to keep it.
I would prefer just take out unanimous, that you have to do it all the time when somebody's on electronically. It's just
I'm not
increasing your
willing to give unanimous
responsibility.
consent helps us get so much more done.
But we don't normally do that, I don't think, because when Andy's here, it's different.
We just had a unanimous consent resolution like about 20 minutes ago.
Where you asked Andy, what do you think?
I always ask what do you think, but that's not the same as
Well,
if there's no disagreement
Andy-
by unanimous consent, we will
Well,
resolve
then
to.
fine, but I then don't call it a roll call, but I'm just saying, you're basically asking whoever's electronically how they want to go. So why on the unanimous consent? I'm just saying we're doing it all the
We
time.
can absolutely ask VLCT why they put that in the model.
Okay,
That's a very valid question.
all right, moving right along then.
John,
Yeah.
can I just ask a clarifying question on this? Maybe I misunderstood what you were saying before, but are you saying that a roll call vote is a particular kind of vote that's distinct from asking each member how they vote?
No.
In other words, okay.
No, we normally don't have a roll call vote. We say all in favor and any opposed, and tally them. We'd only have 5 people, so it's not that difficult. But if it were a body,
to know who
No.
who voted out.
but if it were a larger body and someone disagreed with the outcome, I mean, you see this in Congress all the time. It's like the chair goes, the yeas have it, and it's like clearly not, right? So someone calls for a roll call, they redo the vote, and they all submit their responses. The way we would do a roll call is we would just go one by one. What do you vote? What do you vote?
Yeah.
What do you vote? Often we do that with
We do it more than,
more than not,
right.
but we don't have to. We can do resolve by unanimous consent, or we can just do the yeas and nays. But I know, I hear what you're saying.
Okay.
My preference in this and the other cases is to try to stick with the model. I get it. I hear you.
I won't be violent, try to shoot an attorney. All right.
All right. So,
Public participation would be next. Paragraph 3.
I mean, here I'll offer you this. If we get this approved tonight, I will hand you the model for a project for next month. Come back with red lines, and I promise you I will submit them to the VLCT and ask them why. Okay?
And let's hope I can find the time.
And I think they would answer. I think that they do. They answer those questions, and then we can.
It might even be interesting
Yeah,
answers.
they might have good answers, or not. Maybe they say, I don't know. We flipped the
We
coin.
might teach them a thing or two.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa! Heavens! You're
All right,
saying
so let's
something nice
keep
about
going.
me.
Let's keep going.
Paragraph 3 of public participation.
Well, no,
limited
you were still
public
on
forum.
11 in meetings here. Right?
Oh, sorry, I missed it.
That's statutory. So the 11 in meetings. A resident can request in writing. I think it's in statute. I mean, that's the only way you do things is in writing. You can't sort of documenting the request.
Sorry about that. I missed it.
Is that the one that's the one you were talking about? We says paragraph 11. Why in writing was your?
Paragraph 11. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's like right there, right? Like the model. It's the writing part of it is that's just the way the law works. Is you request in writing, emails writing.
Yeah.
It can't be like I called in.
Well,
I heard from someone.
Put it this way. It says a resident, member of the body, a member of the press, requests
in writing.
physical access to a remote regular meeting or electronic or phone access, which we do all the time. Why do they have to request it in writing? It's if you do the agenda, it's if you want to.
So that's for a remote regular meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So there's two components to this. If we have a no Zoom meeting,
which is against
If we're not all physically here,
there's two of them. There's like if it's only remote, and somebody can't be remote, and they can request that we have a physical location.
Okay.
Those are very rare, right? Because there's only certain permissible.
Yeah, in that case, one of us or a representative of the group has to be here.
Yeah.
That's the way I read it. Some sucker has to show up.
Yeah, that's kind of how I interpret it too.
But it's.
This is also not in VLCT.
Yes, it is.
11 isn't.
Yes, it is.
No.
I'm looking right at it. So.
You're looking at it in their draft?
But I'm just saying, why does it have to be in writing?
By law. That's just the way the law works. I mean, we can write to your legislature.
you're an accountant. You should understand the purpose of having written
Documented.
documentation.
Yes, I
If you're asking
I do,
the board
but
to, like-
basically
If you're asking the board,
only time this may apply, I would think, is if we were not to have for some reason, and the only reason would be one of these three exceptions.
Yeah, there you go. It's that's very unusual.
A physical meeting. Otherwise, we have physical meetings with electronic access, so that they don't even have to ask for permission. They just have to have the link from the agenda.
Right.
So it's like, why are they requesting it?
In the rare occasions where one of these things happens, where we have an only remote, or we have an only in person, then then we try
But
to
it talks about-
we are required by law to accommodate
I
that.
understand that, but it's saying a regular meeting. It's not saying an emergency or an unusual meeting. A regular meeting,
No, regular meetings can
A
occur.
remote regular meeting.
yeah. When would that ever occur?
Remote regular.
Well, for
Except for
example,
a
when
flood.
there's an all hazards event. Steve,
Right,
come
so
on.
then why, why are they they're requesting basically what you're saying is an unusual meeting. They have to request in writing permission to access it, but we don't have to honor it if it's a all hazard event. Well, the only time we're not gonna have a physical meeting is when we have an all hazard event.
Oh, no, so, okay, I see what you're saying. I see what
It's
you're saying.
like-
No, there are other reasons, and the VLCT did not copy all of the statutory exceptions
Right.
into this model. That's not their intention, right?
Right.
There are reasons why there may be a meeting that doesn't have a physical location, and there may be reasons why we don't have a remote access. There's a lot of work on this, so you can go read it. They haven't tried to say that here. So when those situations occur and somebody wants access that they're prevented from, we should try to accommodate them, unless
Right.
we can't.
It would be
Right.
extremely rare.
Right, I'm not disagreeing with
Right.
giving them access.
Okay, what are
Where I'm going is
disagreeing
why
with?
they need to do it in writing. They could call you up and say, hey, I'd like it.
No, that's a law. The law says.
Well, if it's not in writing, then he could say, no, I don't wanna give you that information. Whereas if it's in writing, you have to give them that information.
You can't. So another way of reading this is a request in writing can't be ignored,
All right.
right?
I look at it a little differently.
Okay.
Nothing in this prohibits providing information in response to a oral request.
Right.
And we do that all the time. I think I read this as basically protecting us from someone claiming they requested access and complaining about not getting it when actually they didn't request access. So we're protected from that kind of claim unless they put it in writing. I don't see this as saying we
In that case, if all right, if you're saying that, then somewhere in here, the body, I'm going to say must respond in writing.
What?
In other words, in that case, we should then respond in writing back to the requester as to whether they have or do not have access.
It doesn't specify.
It
how
doesn't
we
specify
provide
that, but if you're doing it where Andy's talking to protect us, we want to have a paper, going back to the auditor over there, we want to have a paper trail as to our response. It goes both ways.
But we don't have to, and then they take the risk if they say we didn't respond to their request.
And do we want to take that risk?
Wait, what risk? What risk?
If we don't give them access, but we don't respond.
If they make a written request and we don't respond in writing ourselves, then we're open to criticism that we haven't granted them the information that they requested.
It goes both ways.
I'm just saying, we could do that or not do it.
Wait a
It
minute.
doesn't
So
have to be
let's go back to your first
in this
comment.
document.
Your first comment was, why do they have to put it in writing?
Correct.
Okay, that's resolved. You no longer are concerned about that. Move on to something else now.
From what Andy was saying, or you saying it, we're using it to do a CYA.
Well, it's the law.
Okay, but it's a CYA, at the end of the day, it's a CYA.
I'm
If you're doing a CYA, then you should be responding to a written request in writing,
But it says that you must grant the request,
unless,
unless there are these three.
so we should be granting it in writing. Telling them, here's the link. here's where we're meeting. Or we can't do it because there's a flood in town and none of us can get there. Or whatever.
Well, now you're just putting more burdens on us.
Well, we're trying, you basically said it's in the law to leave a paper trail.
I didn't say that's why it's in the law. I said that's how I look at this.
Okay,
That
well,
it's useful to us in that way.
then I'm taking it to the next step. We should respond in writing.
Well,
I don't think we should impose that burden on ourselves.
well, that may be advisable, but it is not required. What is required is that they get access by however we give it to them. That's like the proof is in the pudding, right? However they get access resolves that conflict, right? But the point is, we are not obligated to like go through all of this work unless they document their request. That's what it's really saying. It's not like, oh, I mentioned it in the town office and like, you know, like we just need like a request. And there's other similarly written laws in the statutes, such as like, if you put such and such in writing, you can get notice of this and that.
Right. Well, what I'm
you
saying
just gotta
though,
make like a formal. It's a formality.
well, if they're
It's a formal
requesting,
request.
if they're requesting and we're granting access, we're either going to say, come to the town office, or we're meeting at the store this time, or here's the link to do it. Or we're gonna write to them and say, I'm sorry, we can't grant it because the town is under 6 feet of water and there's no way in God's green earth we can do this. I mean, we're still gonna, you know, in our own defense, however we're going to answer their request,
It doesn't have to
it's
be in
gonna
writing.
be in writing.
No, it's not. Like
You're gonna
Totally.
call them up and tell them,
sure,
here's your link.
that would satisfy the requirement.
And they're gonna claim they never got the phone
Here's
call.
the phone number that you have to call to get access
And
to
they're
the
gonna
meeting.
claim you never called. I'm going back to where you're doing
But
a
that's-
CYA.
Look, this is model language, straight out of statute.
It doesn't mean they knew what the frig they were doing.
What do you think?
Like you say, it's not something we're required to do, but if you had the time, a written response would be
And you
a
normally would
wise
get-
move.
And
Sounds like it.
99.9% of the time, you would give a written response.
I have no idea.
I'm not sure that's.
I have no idea. We've never been even remotely been in that situation. So
If somebody called the town
I
office?
think it was at one time, I'm trying to remember if it was planning commission or select board
so 6. This is
a few years ago. They had to have I think it was during COVID, and they actually had to have, I think Renee, sitting here for a meeting. I don't know if anybody showed up,
No,
but they had.
that was me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If VLCT recommends it, it's your fallback. As John said, they're the ones who wrote this.
All right.
I mean, I think that's your CYA. If you change it, you don't have a CYA.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll, so as not to be
I
here
agree
till
with that.
midnight, I will agree.
All right. So let's see.
Public participation.
Motions and voting. Oh, so that's you're repeating. Okay. So let's go paragraph 3. Public participation.
I don't know what that meant, limited public meeting.
All right. So. Right.
Limited public forum,
Right.
sorry.
Okay. So the First Amendment, this is constitutional law stuff, and we're not going to like educate people on what the Constitution provides or what the courts have interpreted the Constitution provides. But there are many different kinds of public forums. Not all of them are public. Not all of them are a free exercise of free speech. Okay. This is one of them. This is straight out of the model. This is what's called a limited public forum. Is a term of art,
I didn't know what the term meant.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
but we can't possibly define it here. But there are limits to free speech in a limited public forum. That's just what it is. It is in essence, it is a meeting in the public, not of the public, right? It's not like your soapbox on the town square. It's different.
It basically means
Full
they're
transparency, but not everybody gets to say everything.
subject to Robert's Rules of Order,
Subject to all kinds of things.
basically.
Yeah, all kinds of restrictions. There are certain areas where similar restrictions may not apply.
All right.
There are true public forums. This isn't one of them. This is a limited public forum.
One I missed, 11 is in bold.
And this I'll say. Let me just say one more thing.
Okay.
So you have a login to VLCT. They have pages and pages on this there. I do encourage you. It's actually kind of interesting. So you can go
I'll
read
go
it.
look.
Yeah.
One I didn't pick up was that number 11 is in bold. I don't know if you changed it. The number 11 is bold.
Which number?
Where?
Under public participation. At least the one I had.
Oh,
Not mine.
not mine.
Okay,
Well, good spot.
I didn't pick it up. I
Well, let's
just
say we
realized.
fixed it. And,
All right.
okay.
13.
Somebody fixed it.
Somebody fixed it. I'm just asking why it's only, I thought it would be, any
13.
public comment would be addressed to the planning commission, not necessarily the presiding officer.
Yeah,
But I
that-
just ask why.
Yeah, that's the
I'm
way.
not saying there's anything wrong
Okay,
with
so
it,
this
I'm
is
just
in
asking
this is
why.
in order now, or where? No, 13.
13. All remarks shall be addressed to the presiding officer, not to others in the room or members of the body. And I just didn't
Oh,
understand.
do we renumber Doris? Hold on a second.
I didn't understand.
Public comment. Where is it?
I understand where the presiding officer has to maintain control.
And I think that's why
Well,
it's there.
my understanding of it is it's to prevent or limit the risk of arguments breaking out between people. You have to, the chair can control the
This is from the
discussion.
last one, I think. Yeah, so people aren't supposed to address each other, right? Certainly not in the public, not in the audience, not addressing particular, questioning or impugning members of the commission. People are able to make comments on issues,
Right.
and those issues are addressed through the chair to the commission and for the record. So the chair recognizes people before they speak, and therefore they speak to the chair on the record. So that's kind of how it works.
All right. 14. It's a typo.
No,
A member of the public can only speak more than once.
with the permission of the presiding officer.
It's a continuing. Sorry, it's a clause there, like
It can speak more than once with the consent of the presiding officer. Absent consent, they can only speak once.
it may be run on, but I think it does work. Let me just see. Which one is this? I remember.
Number 14.
Yeah, I know all the numbers aren't the same as the model, so let me just see.
Oh.
That
I
one.
have a
It's
suggestion.
13 in the
I'd make it
model.
clearer.
Okay. We'll submit that one to VLCT too.
Here you go.
Yeah, what is it?
If we remove the word only, so it says a member of the public can speak more than once on the same agenda item, time permitting, only with the consent of the presiding officer.
Yeah, that probably makes it
Yeah.
easier, doesn't it?
Well, that's basically what I was looking
Made
at.
more sense.
That's what I thought made more sense.
Yeah. All right. So this is, you're going to submit red lines to VLCT, right? Okay. All right. I'm fine with that. That's small enough. We'll know what's going on there. All right. So we're taking only out of before speak and we're moving it before with.
Yeah.
All right. Andy, are you able to capture any of these real time? By the way.
I haven't been trying to.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. I got it.
Well, there's only one more left, then we go home.
All right, let me see. That was 14. The typo. Okay, so that was essentially your suggestion too.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. 7 order. No, so order 3.
It says no signs or posters.
All right, so this is what I suggested we change it to.
Because I'm looking at the whole.
Yeah, no, I got you. See what I suggest here.
Actually, Joan,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to get finicky.
Right. You're
I think
right.
another change.
Do you have a suggestion on top of mine? Is that what you said?
No, it's going back to the speaking more than once.
Okay. All right. What is
I
it?
think the time permitting clause is slow.
Yeah.
It would probably be clearer if we're written, if time permitting begins the sentence. So it says time permitting, comma, a member of the public may speak more than once on the same agenda item, only with the consent of the presiding officer. Then there's no comma or clause interrupting it.
Yeah. Okay. 2 red lines, Stephen. All right. You good with that change too?
Yeah.
All right. Fine.
And I agree with your red line changes for.
All right. So let's say those for the record here. So Stephen was suggesting that we clarify the signs and placards rule so that it would read, no signs, posters, or placards are permitted to be erected or displayed by persons in attendance inside the meeting room, which of course allows for presentations outside, no free speech issues there, but inside the meeting.
Well, I think that was the purpose, because otherwise, look at this room.
The reason this is
You know.
in the model, and it's also something that is actually enhanced in people's applications of the model. So like, the models are like their baseline, right?
Right.
They also give presentations on how you can take these and improve them. So oftentimes select boards will take these, and especially this one, will expand on it because they have different kinds of disruptions than we would.
Right.
They get people coming in and like doing like actual like campaigning or like protesting.
Vote for me.
Well,
Yeah.
protesting. Like if
Yeah.
there's something very controversial, select board is deciding, the people like shouting, and so that's why they expand it. So I think that would cover it.
Yeah,
You
well,
agree?
like I said, I thought the purpose was not so much stuff on the wall, but for what people might bring into the meeting.
It is. In some of them,
But I
there's
just
a number.
didn't think it was clear.
Hopefully it is now. So what I didn't add here that I don't think we need, that some select boards do, just for clarity, is they even restrict the clothes. So so like in voting, I don't know if you know this, you can't come and vote with like certain shirts on. I don't know if you knew that. Carol knows that. Sue knew that. But there are select boards in the state that prohibit you from wearing certain shirts that are disruptive, especially if they're lewd or like inciting of.
I'm wearing a T-shirt that says "F somebody."
Yeah, like F the select board, right? Something like that.
That would be a problem.
Well, some of them actually do, and in the guidance from VLCT, they suggested that. I don't think we need anything like that. But all right, so where are we now?
I'd be done.
That's it.
Heavens.
All right, so let's go back.
Heading towards 9 o'clock.
With those changes, you're good?
Roger that.
All right.
I'd like to make a motion that both sets of rules be approved with the changes noted during the course of this meeting.
Seconded by Stephen. Any discussion?
Public discussion?
Whoops.
Okay, we can do that.
Do it here. Steve went all on about number 4, and the chair can perform all those activities. I will repeat what I said. It's not in the VLCT
This is in the meeting procedures.
or the rules of procedure.
Rules of procedure.
I just want to
Yeah, you're right.
rules of procedure. It's not in the VLCT recommendation. It confers to the chair many different things. Some of it's a little uncertain. I think a lawyer may question whether it does step on open meeting law. I'm not going to get into it. I just want to make the point. It was never in VLCT, and I'm not sure why it needs to be here. You even, John, said you can do most of these things, and you have been doing them all along. Moving down to number 10, I don't know if my numbers are the same. This is it has to be about electronic mail, and everybody make sure you give your email addresses to the chair. Number 10, right? That was not in VLCT either, and I think that's a can of worms. It almost reads like, you shall be, if you don't respond, you shall be deemed to have received and read that sounds like a resident agent that a corporation has to do. If Jim doesn't pick up his emails on time, you assume something from Jim. I think that's a dangerous precedent. I think this whole section, it also suffers from the other issue of too many, if an email goes to more than 3 people, it could violate the open meetings law, depending on what's in that email. If it's just about a meeting, it's okay. If it's administrative. So I think that's that whole section, not in VLCT, and I think it's a dangerous one here. Committees, you had a lot of discussion about it. That's not in the VLCT at all. There's no section on committees. The chairs, again, this is the chair having the ability to do things, but perhaps this as a public body needs to do things together. And so I would question why that whole section is in there. Just under meetings, it said the annual meeting. Is there an annual meeting of the Planning Commission? Okay, that was just a question.
Yeah, there is. It's
November.
I'm trying to think of when it was.
Every November.
November, right.
Okay. Under meetings, number 11, this thing about, John, you said it's in there, about members of the press requests. I didn't see that in the VLC, this whole section, 11, but I might have missed it. I didn't see it in the VLC. Anything that's not in VLCT, I think goes back to a point that has been made several times here. The safest thing for any group to do is to just follow what the recommendations are. And that just basically covers the Planning Commission from doing the right thing, because you can always say, look, we followed the regulations as proposed. So again, there are even some of the other changes you made, I would not even have made them. I just stick to their words. Moving on to, even for like the idea that a public member can only speak once, that's semantics, I agree. I wouldn't change it. Let the state, you can always go back. Anybody wants to sue you, you can fall back on this. I think those are the main things, especially number 4 and the digital one, the email section. Basically imposing upon these members that they have to read if you don't read your emails every day or two.
That often?
Yeah, well, it says, read your emails, and you're expected to. I don't think you should ask volunteers to do something like that. Again, that whole section, I think, is a can of worms. I have lots of specifics, but those are the biggest ones. I would have just one comment or question about, if I can, on the hearing document. John, you said last month, that this section about the deliberations, that they had said it was, I forget the word you used. It was discretionary whether not the hearing's public, the deliberative session is whether it's closed or open to the public, and that's discretionary. Have you decided in here, it is open-ended a little bit, but is the intention to keep them closed, or might the deliberative sessions become open?
I have to go back and read that.
Page 5.
We didn't change that language.
No, I thought it read that you may bring in people, I'm going to call it to support the discussion.
No, I'll read it to you. Unless the presiding officer directs the deliberations occur in open session, the commission shall deliberate in closed session. But you said it was, discretionary. I wonder what your discretion is as a committee, how you feel about that.
I think it's probably case by case.
Okay.
I think in general, we've been deliberating, I mean, I'd say
In general-
99% of all deliberative sessions across the state are closed.
Yeah.
I can't speculate on in what circumstances we would want to open it, but I would suggest maybe if it were like public land, like what is, like, I don't know, I'm just,
Well-
like the planning commission was involved in like what happens with like the town garage, for example, or like there was subdivision of public land and we were,
I'm not sure
a different kind of
Yeah.
scrutiny was applied, then that might be worth doing in public, but I'm just sort of,
Yeah, I can't think, I mean, I'm sure there is a scenario where you may want to make it public, but I can't think of one.
I guess I never
Because I thought it
understood-
would be closed, and so that, if you will, I could say things that,
You can say what you think
without necessarily being on the record,
without creating an issue.
you know?
yeah,
It's an interesting concept.
Well, it's.
That's what
I
they're for.
could,
Ma'am?
I can, later I can explain one scenario where I know I'm well aware of, but nothing to do with the select
Yeah.
board on executive session.
Those are my comments. And-
executive's different.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah,
it's,
And I guess I repeat my overall, I would just have adopted their rules as is, and not changed any, except not change it from Mount Holly.
Yeah, I'll
You got
just
opinions
comment,
over here.
we're in the middle of a motion, but I will say one thing as the last bit of discussion. Are all of the things that you mentioned are carryovers from our, like, 10 years of rules of procedure, so they're things that I think we're very comfortable with.
Yeah,
We've
they're
had.
pretty much not new.
They're not new at all, so,
Is there a copy of that somewhere?
sure.
Thank you.
It's on the website.
It's on our website.
I didn't find it on the website. Rules and procedures,
The town website.
under planning commission?
It's there. Yeah, it's there.
Okay.
Yeah,
this is the one I didn't mark it up, but this.
He means
is
the old ones, I think.
I want the
This
original.
is the old, I believe,
No,
is this the old one, I think?
No, that's not the old one.
Faith will give you the link to that.
Okay,
Okay.
that's fine.
There's actually other copies.
All right. Anything else? Yeah. We gave you a full airing, Stephen. I hope you appreciate it. We went through every single one.
Well, okay.
I know. See, here's the.
I want to cut all the gray hairs I gave you.
They're not from you. Trust me. But I do want to thank you because I asked for people to submit their thoughts, and you did. You went through it in a very detailed fashion, and I appreciate it. So there you go.
Well,
All right, so let's call
my
the
goal in
vote.
life
Did we
is to
lose
make
Andy?
I make attorney drink. That's my goal in life.
Andy, are you there?
The fan's still there.
You probably had to go and have his dinner.
That's Stephen's biggest fan.
Like that one. That's a good one. I like it.
He may have had to make a quick trip.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Hi, Andy. Are you there?
That's not him.
He may be trying to call, but I don't know. Can you hear us? Yeah, it is. We thought it might be, but it was.
Hi, Andy.
It looks like the meeting timer ran down to 0 and I'm no longer part of your meeting.
We can hear you.
We can hear and see you.
You can hear me? I can't hear you except through my phone.
We're going to adjourn.
Well, let's leave the phone right here if you don't mind.
No, I'm just going to.
Well, I think the last thing is we need to adjourn.
Well, no, we still have.
We need to make a vote.
Oh, sorry.
Andy, can you hear me through the phone?
I can't hear you.
Okay, we have a motion made and seconded to approve the rules of procedure and rules of procedure for hearings with the changes agreed to tonight. I'm going to call a roll call. Are you in agreement?
I am.
Stephen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jim? Yes. Me? Yes. Unanimous. Thank you. I guess we have to keep you on the line here. I think we're closing in on the end of the meeting. Where's my
I don't know where
agenda?
the agenda is, I lost.
What'd you
The
lose?
subdivision regulations.
Oh, well, we're tabling that one, guys.
We're up to 2 hours.
I'm tired. I didn't actually get through the whole damn thing yet from Cavendish, so next month.
I didn't even
All
try
right.
yet.
I did not get a chance to consult with RRPC on what they may be offering us. I just realized that we said something maybe a little bit out of line about RRPC in the last minutes, but I will try to see if they'll offer us some help again. We said that they wouldn't, but I don't know. I'll try
What do you
again.
mean for redoing the subdivision
Yeah.
regs?
Yeah, I think it would be nice if we got some help. I'll try again. So let's put the rest of that discussion off till next month. And what else did we have, Faith? I'm sorry, I lost the
Public comments.
public comments in general.
Pre-flow's been there.
I'll just send somebody an email about open meeting law, but I'll send it by email.
Okay. All right. Anything? Oh, we have a meeting next month and a hearing. 17th again.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a cool month, right? It's a fully rectangular month.
And are you going to bring the green beer?
No.
You're no fun at all.
I know, terrible. And
And that was on the record.
that's at 5:30 and 6:30 next month on the 17th. And then we are adjourned.